So today, MLB The Show released GameStop Monday for this week's stream, which is basic. If you guys don't know what GameStop Monday is at this point, it's basically just a precursor to what is to come this Thursday in their stream on Twitch. Now, a lot of people have already done some breakdowns. I had class today. I couldn't record a video in time for, breaking it down. But I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently. I'm not going to be discussing the GameStop Monday video. I'm going to be discussing the main thing, or one of the big things that they discussed in that GameStop Monday video, alright? So, I guess I could just do a quick rundown of what happened in the GameStop Monday video. They introduced, they said that you're basically going to be getting more choice packs for, Battle Royale. You'll end up getting them for ranked seasons, all that fun stuff. They talked about Conquest for a split second. They talked about XP and how getting XP is actually worth something this year. They just discussed a bunch of different things. They talked about Team Affinity, which Tips teased at earlier on, or later on, or late last week at some point with a Twitter interaction with another user, but we're not going to discuss about all of that in this video because that's probably going to go up on Thursday if I can get a video up in time, because I might be busy on Thursday all day. But in this video, we are going to be breaking down the Signature Series players, guys, alright? So, I know it's going to be a bit of a hefty task. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different perspectives, and a lot of confusion throughout the community and how we should actually be taking this. I was just scrolling through Twitter and I had noticed that they had actually put out a blog on theshownation.com. I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description below so you guys can go read the article in full. But this article is basically breaking down the entire Signature Series, the new Signature Series thing coming into the game this year, alright? So we're just going to be discussing it. I'm going to be flashing up little text blocks here and there so you guys can read along with me and all of that fun stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So basically all this blog is really talking about is just kind of clearing up some of the confusion, or I guess just kind of introducing us to what the Signature Series is supposed to be, alright? They said they're going to be discussing a little bit about it now, and then they're going to be discussing it in full this Thursday, so make sure you guys go tune in for that stream. But the first thing that it's going to talk about is the basics. So basically what they said the Signature Series is supposed to be is it says not all of these Signature Series players will be rated 99 overall, and there will be a lot of them. They also say in here in that sentence before that, I probably should have started there, it says it will be a visual sign that this is his best version in Diamond Dynasty, guys. So basically, in the GameStop Monday trailer, we saw Willie Mays. He's going to have his signature card in the game. So obviously the card design looks amazing. I absolutely love the card design. But, basically what it's saying, these are kind of like the career arc / Immortals of last year. But they're coming back in a completely different way, in a completely different fashion. We're going to get into the grinding and all that fun stuff here in a minute. But for the most part, what it's sounding like is these are going to be kind of like Immortals and career arcs revamped in a much better capacity, guys. It sounds amazing. It's not going to be just like the Ted Williams and the Willie Mays and the Babe Ruths of the world, or even the Mike Schmidts and Chipper Joneses of the world. We're going to get into that part here in a second. But there also might be a Miguel Cabrera Marlins version, one of the big points they hammered home last year was that, for the career arcs, these were going to be the best versions of these cards. Or, like Miguel Cabrera, he had his 2012 hardware version out this past year, and it was absolutely garbage. We were like, we want another Miguel Cabrera somewhere. We want a good one. Where's his 2013 one? Where's his Marlins version, So he could very well get a brand new version next year, This isn't just for Miguel Cabrera either. This kind of actually ties into the next thing they talk about, which is depth. And that's all I wanted to hear. All right. Depth is probably one of the biggest things that held MLB The Show 9 or MLB The Show 18 back this past year. Was there was no lineup diversity. You go and it was the same cookie cut. It was the same cookie cutter each and every single game. You know, you put your team together or you grind online. You know, it's like, oh, I just reached World Series or I just reached Championship Series. I think, they just dropped some brand new content for some random reason. I'm going to go ahead and go grind for this guy against the CPU, because I've already reached World Series. So what's the point in me actually trying to get higher than 900? Grind the CPU offline. Get this brand new card, and then you jump into a game and you're like, you know what, I think I'm going to throw this guy into my lineup, and then you're facing an all-immortal team all of a sudden. There was no lineup diversity whatsoever. It was all-immortal teams by basically August. August, September is basically when we finally started to see full immortal teams. But the first paragraph they say is, we focused on adding depth and breadth, I don't know what that means, at the highest levels of each position by removing the immortal barrier that existed last year. Oh my, let's go, boys. We did it, Reddit. All right, so we already knew that Immortals were completely gone. If you guys didn't know that, they are completely gone. So are souvenirs. Those are completely gone from the game. So is the ticket counter. But I think the one thing we all wanted gone were the Immortals, just because I know I wanted them gone, just because there was, again, no lineup diversity. And it's like I was using Chipper Jones at third base. It's like once I got Chipper Jones, there was no point in me using Joe Torre or Mike Schmidt or 88 or the Player of the Month Matt Chapman, or like the postseason Alex Bregman. There was no reason for me to use any of them. Like even 90 overall Edgar Martinez, who's a pretty damn good bench bat for me for a solid few weeks, or for once I got him, the weeks after following it. You guys know what I'm talking about. But it's like there was no reason as to why would I use him over Immortal Chipper Jones, who's clearly so much better. And that's going to be a flawless segue into what they're going to be talking about next. So they discuss they're discussing an example. So they say in MLB The Show 18, only Chipper Jones and George Brett received immortal status, while other legends and flashbacks like Mike Schmidt, Miguel Cabrera, and Wade Boggs never quite made it to their level. So basically what that is talking about is that Chipper Jones and George Brett were what MLB The Show considered immortal status. So, they thought like Mike Schmidt, oh, he was, like we want you guys to get these immortal guys. You don't want to use Mike Schmidt. You don't want to use, who did they say, Miguel Cabrera or Wade Boggs. We want you to use the 99 overall immortal guys, because these guys were a level above everybody else. Even though many could argue that Mike Schmidt was better than both Chipper Jones and George Brett. You can maybe even make the argument that Wade Boggs was better than George Brett, Like there are so many other people they went with, and they went with George Brett. I don't know why. All right, but that's beside the point. Basically what they're saying is that they wanted you to go after the top guys at each position and basically completely forget about anything else. So they're basically accepting the fact that there was no lineup diversity whatsoever. They wanted you to get the immortal guys and nobody else. Next paragraph, it reads, in MLB The Show 19, expect more names at third base to be in the top tier discussion and possibly in other series beyond signature, like monthly awards and finest. You what now, MLB? That is right, guys. Even the monthly awards can go up against the signature series guys. So let's just use an example. Let's just use Mike Schmidt as an example for a signature series third baseman. Let's say, for example, let me look at my teams up here. Third baseman, for some odd reason, let's go ahead and go with the Atlanta Braves, all right? Josh Donaldson is their brand new third baseman. Congratulations, Atlanta. I applaud you for your great move this past offseason. But let's say that Josh Donaldson just completely goes off in the month of, let's say, July. All right, Mike Schmidt has been out since, let's just say, around May. This is just for sake of example. Mike Schmidt has been out since around May. He's a 99. Let's just say he's a 98 overall. Just because they said they're not all going to be 99. So let's just say 98. Josh Donaldson is completely one off in the month of August, and you're like, you know what? I don't want to use this Mike Schmidt card anymore. He's not doing so great for me. So Josh Donaldson ends up getting a Player of the Month reward, and his card is actually comparable to Mike Schmidt's, except let's say he has just a little bit more speed, maybe a little bit more vision. But for the most part, contact and power are around the same. Fielding is just a little bit lower. Donaldson's would probably be hovering around the 80s, I would say, where Mike Schmidt would be hovering around the upper 90s. So yeah, you're like, you know what? I want to go after this Josh Donaldson card. And then you look at the two cards and you're like, you know what? I don't know which one I want. It's like, do I want to sell, assuming that the Mike Schmidt would be sellable, do I want to sell this Mike Schmidt card to go get the other guys for this Josh Donaldson card? It's just going to add more to the conversation. It's like, one person might think that Chipper Jones is better than George Brett, or another person might think Miguel Cabrera is better than Wade Boggs, or vice versa, or it's just going to add discussion. It's going to give us more lineup diversity, and you're never going to really expect who is going to be in each other's lineup, especially with contact hitters being a lot more viable this year. The all-around guys basically staying the same, and power guys not being as viable. Not saying that they're nerfed or anything. They're just, not as overpowered as they were last year. It's going to add some conversation to the community, which is a great thing. The next thing they talked about in this blog was their defensive flexibility, and basically what they say in this part is that these guys are going to have multiple out of position spots. All right, so these are basically going to be like the immortal guys. So Albert Pujols, for example, say he gets a signature card, 99 overall signature card. All right, Cardinals edition, has a signature, 99 overall. His stats are absolutely stellar. Primary position would be first base, obviously. But he'd have secondary positions of third base, left field, and right field. Mike Schmidt, let's throw him in there. Let's say that his secondary positions, he can play first base and shortstop. There's gonna be it's gonna throw more lineup diversity, more conversation. So let's say you're currently running the 94 overall Cal Ripken Jr. at shortstop right now, and they release this 98 overall Mike Schmidt, and he has a secondary position of shortstop. His fielding is most likely going to be up to par, if not better, than Cal Ripken's. It's like would you rather have this 94 overall Cal Ripken Jr., or would you rather take this signature 98 overall Mike Schmidt, take that 5%, 10% stats decrease in his fielding and whatnot, just to throw him at shortstop, just because his hitting stats would probably be a lot better. Again, it's just going to add more conversation in the community. There's going to be so much. This is so exciting to hear. I'm just hoping and praying that this actually gets executed flawlessly. The next part about the blog is going to be discussing the different ways that you can possibly get these rewards. All right, they don't really go into too much depth. Again, this blog is just kind of like scratching the surface of what's to come for this Thursday. But they discuss how you can potentially get some of these rewards, because you're like, oh, are these going to be like limited time cards and packs, or are these going to be just flawless battle royale rewards? We don't 100% know. There might be both. We won't figure this out until this Thursday. But in this paragraph, or in this section of the blog, they say Signature Series players are going to be scattered strategically throughout Diamond Dynasty, as they should. I don't want to be having to grind against the CPU just to get the best cards in the game. I just find that completely and utterly ridiculous, which is why, not many people liked 18 this past year. All right, and then they also say that they will be accessible as rewards for skilled players, and we have different but equally good rewards positioned for gamers who put the time in. All right, guys. So basically, what they're saying is, I think if you're better at the game, you will be able to get higher rewards. I'm not entirely sure how to interpret that, but basically, what it sounds like is that the way the direction that they're trying to take this year is play the game that you want to play. So if you want to play nothing but ranked seasons this next year, you can just go ahead and play ranked seasons non-stop. You know, like if you just want to play against the CPU or just want to play events or just want to play Battle Royale, you know, you can do all of that, or just Conquest or whatever. You know, you can still get these kinds of rewards. It's just, you know, it's really, I just find it really weird how they didn't think about this sooner. You know, like, you know, there are some guys who just want to play offline, and then other guys who want to play just online. Against actual opponents, you know, it's, again, this is going to be a big game changer for this next year. Just figuring out, like, do I want to go for this reward, or do I want to go for this reward, or how you want to play the game, because that's going to be a huge key into the rewards that you will earn next year. They then go on to talk about when they're going to be released, and they say that some Signature Series players will be available at launch, with many more dropping within the first few weeks and months. And once again, they're going to be talking about all of this Thursday on March 14th, January. My God, I'm behind a couple of months. But yeah, make sure you guys tune in for that stream, because there is going to be a lot of unpacking in that stream, let me tell ya. So this next part that they talked about is what we didn't want to see this next year, and that was the ridiculous grinds against the CPU. Oh my God. If you all remember, this past year for the career arc, specifically for the career arcs, especially the second wave of career arcs, you know, the grind against the CPU was absolutely ridiculous. You know, it's like, for Albert Bell, you had to get basically two career arcs in one to get that card. You know, you needed, 250 hits with left fielders tier diamond and gold, and then you needed another 150 with bronze, silvers, and commons, and then you had to do that again for right fielders. Like, it was absolutely ridiculous. And the starting pitchers were stupid. I don't even know why I did Seaver and Nolan Ryan, but I did it regardless. It's just the grind this past year was absolutely crazy. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Here's the thing with ideas, is somebody thought of that idea, took it to a board of directors, they all approved it, and they took it to like 3 different levels of people, and they all thought it was completely fine. They were like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's go ahead and just throw that into the game. They're gonna love that. Yeah, no, that didn't happen at all. But yeah, basically the section says stat grind. Let's see, you won't be required to do mega exchanges, stat grinds for 500 home runs, or absurd moments challenges to earn a Signature Series player. So that's always good news. Whenever you don't have to grind against the CPU, that's always big news. All right, everything in this game is #big news. All right, spread that like wildfire. But yeah, but in all seriousness, guys, that's really good to hear. We don't have to do exchanges. They said exchanges this year are going to be very minimal. They're probably just going to be like, exchange 5,000 exchange points worth of center fielders or something small like that. We're not going to be getting like, oh, you need to exchange 120,000 points worth of St. Louis Cardinals and Los Angeles Angels hats, like that Albert Pujols mission we all had to do. Like, oh, thank God those are all gone. And then the final thing they talked about in this blog was it's called Tough and Exciting Choices Ahead. All right, guys. So the direction it sounds like this they're going this year is with the choice packs. Like they're like, play the game you want to play, or play the game how you want to play it, whether it be online or offline, Battle Royale or Conquest or Ranked Seasons or CPU, whatever. But then they're also going with the choice packs. Like if you have an 84 overall Trevor Story in your inventory, and he ends up popping up in a choice pack already, and you don't have Andrew Benintendi, let's say, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna go with Andrew Benintendi because I already have two of the 3 guys that are already in this pack. Some of these might be in choice packs, and they say if you think that the special edition Diamond Choice Pack to pick one of the 30 Diamond Legends or Flashbacks is a tough decision, wait until you see what we have in store for the Signature Series. Oh, MLB, don't make me make choices in this game. That is right, guys. They're going to be, by the sounds of it, we're going to be able to pick our own. So you're going to have to debate between Willie Mays, Ted Williams, and Babe Ruth, all in the same pack. Oh my God. Oh, this next year is going to be a train wreck for me because I can't make decisions. All right, so it's going to be a very tough, it's going to be a lot of conversation on how these players play, and you can test them out in moments, and, you can use them in BR. Like, there's going to be so much brand new stuff in the game. I am so excited for MLB The Show 19. But that's basically all that they talked about today. I will leave a link down to the GameStop Monday video in the description below, so you guys can go watch that and, see for yourself. Big changes are coming to MLB The Show 19, and I am so excited to play this game. I was very excited for 18, and then it just completely flopped. But this year is a completely different story. I am hyped. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you are as hyped as I am, I cannot speak anymore. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new, especially now because I will be covering everything MLB The Show 19 up until March 26th. I will see you guys in the next one, and as always, have a great rest of your morning.